10 minutes without you seems like an eternity.
I was going to say, this is what women of the 50s, right? Weren't they like that?
You know, you were talking about like how your style kind of the way you dress, man, has really changed. And I remember when I was in high school and middle school, you know, if your shorts were too short, kids would be like, "Ah, that's gay."
Yeah. Now the ladies like that knee to show. Not only the knee, but the thigh, and then maybe even a little bit of a little extra.
a little head just poking out. 3-inch inseam shorts. When did you get the confidence to start wearing shorts? I forgot when I started, but once I started, I never went back.
And then, you know, I was getting into the gym, and then I was just like, well, shit, I'm not working out my legs to cover them up.
Well, hey, if you can train legs and then you can get those 5-inch inseam shorts, I guarantee there's going to be waterworks when you walk down the street.
Oh, hell yeah. It makes a huge difference. It's different, you know, when you're young and a girl says anything to you, you're like, she wants to bang me. Like,
Yeah.
And you can't stop thinking about that. And you're like, I got to try to figure out a way to close that deal. I need to.
Don't you have some 3-inch inseam shorts?
Oh, yeah.
That you use for running?
Yeah. And how unheterosexual is this? My brother bought them for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he just thought it'd help you run fast.
Because he's a dirty dog.
He
That's
bought
why.
you those yellow ones, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's the next level.
It's like, bro, you want to see me running around in these? Like, what's going on? See, I think girls are kind of hoping that they'll see like a head, but you're probably gonna see a ball more, more than likely, especially in the summertime.
PowerProject family, how's it going? Now, we like to look good in the gym and out of the gym. That's why you always see Mark and I and Andrew is stepping up on the short game, wearing shorts from Viore and clothes from Viore. And honestly, the number one compliment that I've seen, that I've gotten, and even Mark's gotten, is, damn, your butt looks good. And that's because, well, the clothes we wear make our booties look delicious. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys both have pretty big wagons. You guys can head over to viore.com/PowerProject. That's VUORI.com/PowerProject to receive 20% off the most amazing apparel that looks so good inside and outside of the gym.
It's going to make your ass look fat.
And your ass
like
will
that.
look fat. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. God damn it.
That's a good one. That was a good one. Make your ass look fat. Why was this on your feed anyway? You got something to tell me?
So I follow Barstool Sports.
Barstool.
Hey, now.
They are...
Yeah, they're funny as hell.
They're funny, and they're like, you know, me, I can't keep up with the times, so it's good to have somebody that has their pulse on things. But I was just showing Nsima this video.
Hot chick.
I thought it was interesting.
One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Oops, I fucked up. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let me pull it up over
I don't
here.
like beautiful women.
Do they make you insecure?
Long pause.
They give me a lot of concern about a lot of things. Yeah.
All right, well, check this out. Careful there.
Whoa! Wow! Look at that.
Don't shake it up too.
Smoking.
Wow. Yeah. What if? Never mind. All right, check this
Through
out, Mark.
that system, you can connect the AI that
that.
you created in the app
Look
to the
at
robot
that.
and carry on the conversation with her that way. Once you've got that loaded and you hit chat, she just comes to life.
Good you came back so fast, baby. I'm glad you came back that fast. Wow, baby. 10 minutes without you seems like an eternity.
Through that.
Fuck off.
If only a woman would speak to me like that.
I was going to say, this is what women of the 50s, right? Weren't they like that? All those posters and everything that they have.
Hey.
Oh yeah, how to be a good
Yeah, how to be a good
wife.
housewife.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh my God.
So that was a sex robot, everybody. And
Andrew, how much did you get yours for?
well, I got in on the Kickstarter, so
nice.
we're good. Yeah, got a once in a lifetime
A
deal.
malfunctioning sex robot.
Dog. You know, I
Does
think
it just shake faster, or do they shake? I don't know for sure.
no, those things are, I think generally sex robots are good for society. And I think that because it will, you know, there's going to be a lesser occurrence of, you know,
Yeah, maybe.
violence. Yeah, like
People doing weird stuff.
people
Yeah.
just doing wild shit because they can't get no box.
I
well, now
remember-
you have a box.
Yeah.
You can buy it. You can have
You
it
can buy it.
fucking prime shipping.
And
You don't have
she-
to be a fucking weirdo in your basement, beating off all the time.
You could still be in the basement, but having sex with a robot.
Yeah, that's true.
and as much
And
as
you can chat with her.
Can the sex robot be your what is it? Stepmom?
you could probably make the AI like a stepmom.
Yeah.
So for every one of those, why is that such a popular porn category?
I don't know. I've nenever been in that situation. So I don't know.
It's
anything
popped
about
up
it.
on my former former porn explore feeds, and I've been like, why? I
don't know.
Like, okay, well, let's think about this.
I think everyone has like some sort of like there's some sort of fantasy in there of like someone older, somebody in a position of power, like a teacher or something like that, right? Like everyone's kind of thought about, yeah, that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's an odd one. It's a very
maybe you want to call someone mommy. I don't know. Hey, it sounds weird, but sometimes people call each other Danny.
Yeah. I wouldn't want my girl calling me daddy. That's too weird.
You were like, wait, what?
Like, I didn't have mine. I don't need you calling me that.
Keep doing that, Dad. Like, wait a second. Dad
Stop.
is way different than Daddy.
Yeah, add the Y.
You'd be like, that's it. Go to your room.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Get turned on all over again.
Oh god.
Guys, you know what's funny? I was watching this video from these two creators, Abba and Preach, and they have really pretty funny social commentary, but they were watching these videos of like people from the 60s getting interviewed, and it was women. And there's this narrative nowadays how, like, especially when you watch certain channels like Fresh and Fit or Rollo Tomasi, how, you know, there's less of a strong men or whatever in the world now, and like, you know, less women want to do housework, or if I'm working out there, you know, I at least come home to a clean home and my dinner made, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is how it was in the 50s and 60s. But then I saw this video of women being interviewed and even men being interviewed. And this guy was asking, so what do you think? Do you think it's fair for the man to come home and have to do some laundry or help with the dishes? And all these women were like, some of them were like, no, you know, he's working. I mean, I should be able to do that. But a lot of these women were like, yeah, I mean, why would he not help out? And it's like, it's funny because it kind of spits in the face of like, back in the 50s and 60s, all these women were out here doing dishes and making dinner. You know what I mean? I thought it was pretty funny.
It probably wasn't like that for everybody.
Yeah, probably not for most people.
I know. I remember talking to my dad and my uncle when I had Jake. He was maybe like, I don't know, 1 or something. And my uncle's like, how's it going? I was like, yeah, man, it's going pretty good. I'm just changing a lot of diapers. Seems like I got to change them a lot. My uncle's like, oh my God. He's like, you change diapers? And my dad's like, he says, yeah, I changed a diaper once. And my uncle looked at him. My uncle was like, so disgusted with my dad. He's like, you changed a diaper?
That's funny.
They were both confused that I changed diapers at all, which was hilarious. I was like, oh, it's a different time, I guess.
Yeah, it also might be like a cultural thing too. Because like in a Mexican family, like if food wasn't ready, my dad would just be like, all right, we're not eating today. Like nobody's eating. It's like, oh shit.
My
Like,
grandfather
fucked
was
up.
that way. He like wouldn't go to work in the morning unless my grandmother made him breakfast.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I guess that's what you get used to. I guess there's give and take in relationships. I don't know. I think people nowadays maybe are a little bit more into having conversations about stuff.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
You know, it's so interesting. Like, I had this, he's still a homie of mine. I'm not going to say his name on air, but when we were younger, like, he told me I didn't do my laundry until I was 20 years old.
Shit.
I was like, what? Like, you didn't know how to do your laundry until you were 20? You know, like, and I know some dudes who like never really did dishes, or they don't do dishes now. I just, it's interesting to me, you know, like I think that the expectation, if you're a guy and you're like, I need my food cooked, my dishes done, and my home clean, and you don't do any, like, you don't help with any of that, I find it kind of odd. Like, you know, I mean, my girl, she does some of that, but I do some of that too. Like, I do laundry, you know, I put shit away. I like to have a clean place. And I think, like, why can't a guy, or why shouldn't a guy help out with shit like that? It's kind of weird to think you shouldn't.
So you like a clean place, but you just keep your workplace really messy?
It's not messy. Everything's like not messy.
He knows where everything is.
I know where everything is, bro. You can call me out, but I know where everything is.
Okay.
Does he really though?
I mean, that's fine. No, I agree. Like when stuff is just like never put away, you're like, oh yeah, that's right there. That's right there. That's right there. Because that's what I used to do when I was a kid. Like as soon as you clean your room, you can't find shit. But I was just
There's a difference
Interesting.
between being like dirty though, too, right?
There's a difference between being
absolutely.
dirty.
Yeah, dirty and like
messy.
maybe a little unorganized. I'm definitely unorganized. I got shit exploding out of every fucking facet of my being that you can possibly imagine. My closet, my fucking, even my room. I've donated a lot of clothes and a lot of stuff, and it's like, it's just, I got to keep getting rid of stuff. I got to really be up to speed on it. And then I also have to be honest. It's like, dude, you wear like the same 5 to 7 things. I'm like, you just keep turning your underwear inside out. It's like, how many more pairs do we need to buy? I'm pretty crappy with a lot of that. But also in my own defense, just a lot of stuff gets sent my way. A lot of stuff and then we produce a lot of stuff. So I end up with like wrist wraps, and this new shirt just got thrown on me as I was walking over here. And so that happens a lot. But it is nice to be able to bring stuff into the gym, and then a lot of the guys in the gym usually appreciate it because they end up walking off with some fairly nice
Swag.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that's very true. I have taken some of your shit, but I have to get rid of it. So
I also think that, like, back to the dishes and stuff like that, there's a scene in a movie where the guy says to the wife, she's like, I don't want you just to do the dishes, like, because I don't want you to want to do the dishes because you're going to get like a reward for it, like a blowjob or something like that. She's like, I just want you to want to do the dishes, just to do the dishes. And he's like, why would I want to do the dishes? He's like, are you crazy? And it's just kind of funny. I think the difference between the way the male brain works and the way the female brain works in those cases, where people have that kind of arrangement. I don't do a lot of dishes. The laundry, I'm not quite sure how our laundry works.
you don't know how the washer works?
I don't. Our laundry at my house, I don't know. Like, I maybe have used it like once or twice, and it was probably three years ago. I just look at that thing and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I pushed a bunch of buttons on there before and nothing happened. So I was like, I'm getting out of here. This is above me. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could understand it within the context of if it's the classic division of labor. Like, if someone's going and working, you can still come back and do some shit. But if everything at home is just like really bad and one person's working all day and one person, I mean, I get that. There's division of labor there. But in most situations now, men are working and women are working too. So it's like, if both people are doing something, y'all better both fucking chip in. Like, your mommy's not taking care of you anymore, buddy. Like, that's not your mom. That's your lady. So.
Yep. And Jordan Peterson, he talks about, not having your wife be a maid. And I think it's a really good point. And these dudes that complain that they don't get this, they don't get that, they don't get blowjobs. Well, maybe if you fucking helped out a little bit more, maybe the old lady would have a little bit more energy.
Potentially. We were talking, maybe we should, because there's a few things we want to talk about today, but, you were talking about like how your style kind of, the way you dress, man, has really changed. 'Cause I remember that video we pulled up.
Oh, yeah.
With Jesse Burdick.
Yeah, where I had those giant basketball shorts on.
Yeah. And I remember when I was in high school and middle school, if your shorts were too short, kids would be like, that's gay.
Yeah. No, if your knee was showing.
If your knee was showing, you can never have the knee showing. All shorts had to be above the knee.
And now the ladies like that knee to show. Not only the knee, but the thigh, and then maybe even a little bit of a little extra.
a little head just poking out. 3-inch inseam shorts.
But yeah, clothes couldn't even be tight either. Like, clothes had to be real baggy. At least for me in junior high, like that's when we were like Jinkos and shit, where everything was fucking really like oversized.
But you know what's funny? The kind of, I think there was a phase maybe a few years ago where really tight shit was the thing. But like now, it's back to like even me, the clothes I get, my shirts I get are all like 2X. I don't like shirts being way too tight or hugging way too much. Partially because I sweat and then the stains show, but also because I just don't think it looks that good. I wonder if that's because of what I like, or if it's because I've been informed by what's being shown. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, there's definitely a modern trend of people wearing bigger stuff. And if you look at, goddamn, what's the bodybuilder's name that has the veins?
Chris Bumstead?
In his shins. What's that guy who's massive? I'm forgetting his name, but he seems to take the big shirt look to like the maximum. He's wearing like 5X and different stuff like that. He's like on like a bike, like doing cardio.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like a dress. Our boy Kenny wears like pretty big stuff. But
Kenny has good stuff. Kenny knows how to
Kenny's
dress.
gonna look good in anything. He's a good looking kid, you know. But it is interesting the different, all the different kind of iterations of the different styles and different clothes. And I try to buy stuff that I just like, and I've always liked nice stuff. I just didn't have money for it previously. So nowadays I'm like, well, I can just buy that. But right now I'm still trying to figure out how to like organize myself better. I'm like, I can't buy anything else until I need to get rid of a lot of this shit.
Yep.
And so I'm still working on that. But I love but just a couple days ago, I was just kind of looking at my wardrobe and I'm like, there's only like 3 different things that I like. And I like the style of tank top that you're wearing right now. I love that material. I could because the summer here in Sacramento, it gets to be like 9 bazillion degrees.
Yeah.
I think on Friday it's going to be 105.
Yeah.
We get our first dosage of that heat.
Ooh.
And I don't love to like inform the world of how sweaty and disgusting I am. So it's nice to have those shirts where you can't really tell if you're really sweaty. So I just want to live in that in the summer and just a pair of short shorts and just kind of kick it.
Yeah. When did you get the confidence to start wearing short shorts? I forgot when I started, but once I started, I never went back.
So in the gym, we've been doing this for a long time. We've been rocking the squat diaper.
That's right.
You know, and we've been kind of like, we'll deadlift and stuff, and we would take our longer shorts and kind of tuck them into our like undies and yank them up and start doing that kind of stuff. And when my legs just didn't look like anything, when I was squatting, even the big weights, squatting over 1,000 pounds, my legs were pale and I was fat because I wasn't getting sunlight the way that I do nowadays. And so there wasn't really that big of a reason to show the legs. They didn't look like much. But fast forward a little bit beyond that, when I started to take care of myself after every competition, lose some weight, I started getting more into walking, started seeing like lines in the hammies and started seeing some stuff here and there.
Yeah.
Started seeing like a vein in the calf. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So then I would kind of hike them up when I was training. And it sounds really weird and sounds like super like egotistical, but it's really nice to see your muscles when you're training. It's like a thing. It's
That's the truth. That is the truth.
I mean, we have a mirror in here, and everybody, when I first put that up, everyone's like, "That's the dumbest thing. I can't believe you're getting." And everyone just parks there, and everyone just hangs out there. And you walk in on like a Saturday or Sunday morning. When I walk in, there's always somebody posing in that mirror.
Oh, Tom?
Trying to get that. Yeah, exactly. Our boy Tom Thornton. Somebody's always like, "Oh, hey, Mark, what's going on?" Like, and they were doing like a full bodybuilding posing routine. Right as I walk in the door, oil and everything.
Yeah, no, it's interesting when I think about like when I was 270 or 260, and the way, because I mean I was big and I was muscular, but the way I dressed, it's like I covered more when I was that weight, even though I was pretty muscular. Like the shorts I wore were longer. Everything was a bit bigger. You know what I mean? And it's interesting now that like I still like, I was wearing a long sleeve and I'm wearing the tank because it's hot, but just the change in terms of the style of which we dress nowadays, it's pretty interesting to me.
I've made an observation about you, sir.
Oh, what's up?
If I may.
Go for it. Let's see if it's right.
Let's see.
Take some kratom before you do this.
You are fucking big. You are jacked. You are black. And I think
so close
that, and you have a really strong capacity with a lot of stuff. Your strength, your intelligence, like a whole list of things. So sorry to stroke you off so much. But I think that
Get to the prostate.
I think that you're. Oh yeah, I'm gonna rub the prostate.
They're not gonna understand the joke, Andrew.
We'll show them the video in a second.
We can't.
But I think everything from your voice to your demeanor is to try to downplay what you kind of have inside. That's sort of an observation I made, because you can't play normal with people. Like you can't be full on Nsima very often. If you go full Nsima on somebody, some really bad shit will happen.
Wait, okay, what do you mean by that?
Just you're faster, you're stronger, you're super athletic, and so I think that little wave thing that we talked about with that little funny face that you make when you're crossing the street or when you see the old person on the street, I think you're trying to tell people, hey, like I'm not threatening.
Yeah.
I'm not what you may think I am.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way that you are. So I think that when you cover up, especially with the way you're built now, you don't want to necessarily go into. It's nice to get compliments. It's nice to have people say, "Hey, oh my God, I'm sure you get compliments all the time."
Yeah.
But also, it's nice just to kind of blend in and wear a big baggy shirt and have no one really bug you or think any particular thing about you.
That's true. No, I agree with that. But I can ask you the same thing. Don't you kind of do some of the same things?
Absolutely.
because of the way you look? Like,
right.
You know, if you're out in public looking as big as you do.
Oh, when I run, I smile the whole time because I see people coming and I see their face and I'm like, oh shit, like they think I'm a fucking murderer or something.
Yeah,
I think I'm a lunatic out here, so I got to kind of smile, wave to them.
So it's a normal thing to do. It's a totally normal thing to do. But I think we're all getting a bit more comfortable with like ourselves. I mean, I know I am, right? I saw a comment on the podcast actually yesterday. Pretty much the comment was like, Nsima's getting full of himself. You should watch some of your old videos and go back to that, Nsima. And it was pretty interesting because like I don't know, I don't necessarily see it, but comments are comments. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying a bit. I think I always do that, and I've always done that, especially in public, just because, again, I'm very aware of the way that I look.
You're insanely kind to the point where sometimes when you say stuff, sometimes on like our recordings, I'm always like, I wish you would just say it because like I don't care because we're friends. Like it doesn't matter. You can just. But that you tend to like keep in mind the other person's reaction, which is a really nice thing to do, I think.
Oh, well, thank you. But
like it's just courteous. Like maybe Mama beat you up so much that
beat kindness into me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, Andrew.
Oh, absolutely. So like we'll have something scheduled. And then we'll get a voicemail like, oh, guys, hey, is it cool if we move it up like 1 hour, move it back 1 hour? Because I was going to go to jujitsu. And you'll have this thing like, I was going to do this, I was going to do that. But actually, guys, if it, you know what? I'll forget it. I'll cancel everything and then I'll be there. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, just say that you're going to go to jujitsu and like, we'll figure it out. You know, like we get it. But like, it is funny because you'll be like, can we do this? Actually, nah, you guys, let's just do the thing that we all had said we planned on.
We're a 3-man team.
I'm grateful for the kindness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, y'all make me fucking sweat. We're a 3-man team. You know, we got to take each other into account. But going back to the style thing, let's go back to the style thing.
Yeah.
Andrew, I have a question for you.
Hey.
How do you feel about the Hoochie Daddy shorts? Because I noticed, like, do you like the Hoochie Daddy short idea?
Oh, Andrew's legs are improving a lot too. So
your
there's
legs
gotta
look
be
nice,
and the shorts are getting shorter. Don't think we're not.
There's
noticing.
a coincidence there, right? But I was thinking back because I was wearing shorty shorts before I even started coming around ST. But it was because, remember, I was saying when I was trying to be when I was a freelance photographer and I was trying to learn how to dress, I just paid a subscription to, back then it was called 5-4 Club. And,
I remember that.
And during the summer, they sent like what was in fashion. So this would have been probably like 6-7 years ago, and that's when shorts started getting a little bit shorter. And
they sent you queer shorts,
dude. And I just remember they were a black pair of shorts, and I don't remember what the top was, but I just remember like staring at them like, fuck, like my long ass skinny legs, man. I don't know.
Are you sure this is a style?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. But then, you know, you wear them once and you're just like waiting for somebody to comment something. Like I would never wear them around my dad, you know, because he would have talked shit right away. Thankfully, I had a buddy of mine that he worked at Nordstrom, and I'm just like, bro, like, I don't know, man. He's like, no, he's like, that's the style. I'm like, I was like, it's kind of weird, but you wear them once, and you know the world doesn't collapse on you. It's like, oh, all right. And then, you know, I was getting into the gym, and then I was just like, well, shit, I'm not working out my legs to cover them up. So then I got used to that. But then eventually, when I started training here, you know, around big monsters and shit, then I started wearing bigger clothes because I'm like, I have to fucking try to like float inside these clothes so that way nobody can tell exactly how skinny I am. But then now more recently with Viore shorts being incredible. And,
oh God.
Yeah, checking out the inseams, you know, like 7 inches, like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, but those 5s, man, those 5s look good. My wife loves them too. So like
that's what matters though.
And that's what really is pushing me. Cause like I do have some Viores that are like, I want to say like I meant to order 5-inch ones, and some just happen to be a little bit like looser.
Yeah.
And so like I don't like wearing those ones anymore. You know, like so like I wore like some earlier to work out in, and I was like trying to hike them up, and they just kept falling down, and I was like, I wish they're a little bit tighter. Yeah. So yeah, that's been the progression of the shorty shorts for me. The Hoochie Daddy shorts.
You get a compliment from a girl, and it's on.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was primarily because I didn't start that shit myself. It was primarily women that a girl told me that I was dating in the past. She's like, "Yo, those shorts, they look so good." I'm like, "You think so?" And she's like, "Yeah, I literally had all of my shorts. I had all my shorts hemmed down to a 5-inch inseam."
I was gonna say you have a bonfire with it.
No, I legit took all my shorts and I got them hemmed down to 5 inches because I'm like, yo, like if ladies like it, shit, this is if there's any other motivation for you guys to train legs, because you were just saying before this podcast, there's still be dudes that are like in the gym and they're just doing upper body and they don't train legs. Well, hey, if you can train legs and then you can get those 5-inch inseam shorts, I guarantee there's going to be waterworks when you walk down the street.
Oh, hell yeah. It makes a huge difference. I think that sometimes maybe women might not even notice what they like. I think guys too, but like...
Wait, what you just said? Women don't know what they like.
I think sometimes they don't. don't.
I see what you mean.
And,
I know what you mean.
And the point is sometimes about like, muscular men. Sometimes they're like, and I understand, of course, like, there's women have different tastes and different flavors, just like dudes do. However, I think for both sexes, I think that calves are really sexy. Having some nice calves. Yeah. My sister-in-law, she's got great calves. It's very attractive. It's a very attractive feature to have nice calves.
You're hurting a lot of people right now because they're like, I can't grow them.
I know. And there's, I know, it can be a thing. And there's definitely something with like the ratio of like your ankle to your calf. A part of the attraction to The Rock, he's flawless in many ways. He's got the wide shoulders and the small hips. I think I heard Andrew Huberman, he had somebody on that like studies this shit. And he was saying like one of the main features that women look for is shoulder to hip ratio. I don't think he really mentioned the calves. I don't recall. But next time you check out a girl's legs and they're like in heels, if they have nice calves, it like changes the look of everything. I'm not talking about like shredded, they got fucking striations in their calves or something crazy. Just a nice athletic looking leg is very attractive.
I think isn't that one of the big reasons why women wear heels? Because it doesn't accentuate the calves and they get a little taller. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And just a quick tip, if you guys
do your calf raises.
Do your calf raises. And when you do your calf raises, slow those shits down. Because that Achilles tendon, if you're just bouncing, that Achilles tendon's taking all that tension. So slow it down. And hopefully that can be something that can help you grow them calves. Because I never really thought about that, actually. As far as the aesthetic aspect of it, calves make a big difference.
I've been complimented on my legs a bunch. It's great. Like, you get a compliment from somebody and... as you get older and you're more secure with yourself and you're secure with your partner, it's different. When you're young and a girl says anything to you, you're like, she wants to bang me. Like, and you can't stop thinking about that. And you're like, I got to try to figure out a way to close that deal. I need to, how do I circle back to that person? Like, how do like all kinds of bells and whistles.
She said hi. Yeah. She wants it.
Yeah. She said hi, and it was in a very particular way.
She wants it.
Let's be totally honest. She didn't say hi to everybody else.
Nope. That hi was more than just hi.
See, exactly. Yeah. That's the way our brain works. So we keep kind of circling back to that. But as you get older, you don't mind. When you have a compliment, you don't think anything of it other than what the person said. They said you have nice legs, or they like the shorts that you're wearing, or however they put it. Sometimes I've had women ask me what a particular shirt or what a particular pair of shorts are, because they're like, I'd love to buy that for my boyfriend or my husband. That looks really nice. And then I have to kind of inform them, hey, listen, your boyfriend or husband, he ain't ever going to look as good as me, all right? No, I'm just kidding.
You should be like, wait, whoa, what is this about boyfriend, husband?
No, I do have
I thought we had a thing going.
I do have people ask me about Nsima a lot. They're like, what shorts is he wearing in the thing? Or what shirt? I'm like, it's not going to make a difference. You're screwed. You're not going to look like Nsima. But you could try to dress like them. You can go for it.
Most of the shorts I wear, guys, are from Viore, but I do also have some shorts that are from Lulu. So if you go to Viore's website, they have a bunch of different types of shorts. I have quite a few from there. Mark, you wear a bunch of shorts from there. We all do. But yeah, 5 inches typically. Don't you have some 3-inch inseam shorts?
Oh, yeah.
That you use for running?
Yeah, and how unheterosexual is this? My brother bought them for me.
Really?
Yeah,
Because he just thought it'd help you run faster.
because he's a dirty dog.
He
That's
bought
why.
you those yellow ones, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's the next level.
It's like, bro, you want to see me running around in these? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think Stephanie sent me some 3-inchers
For you?
but like not really paying attention to like it saying 3 inches. It was just like, these are short shorts, and I looked at them like, I was like, I don't know, I think my nuts might hang out of those
Like,
ones.
it's gonna look like this hourglass. We have.
Yes.
There's gonna be a little something poking out of the bottom.
Yeah,
there.
I'm like, it's getting hot. I was like, it's like more like malleable down there
Yeah.
when it's hotter. So I'm like, no, those are just like.
See, I think girls are kind of hoping that they'll see like a head, but you're probably gonna see a ball more. More than likely, especially in the summertime.
That you know what that make I never really thought about that. It's like, why do women like it so much? It's because they're getting closer and closer to seeing some action. That's primarily why.
Well, I love a miniskirt. Jesus Christ, I love those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
go
You know
wrong.
what? In fact, I talked about it the other day, and my wife's just like shaking her head. I was like, it's the most disappointing fucking thing in the world. You find out a girl's wearing shorts, like those skirt short things that girls rock all the time.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, see, now you're now you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're wearing shorts.
Yeah, it's not just like a short skirt.
Like
and
if they
then-
pull the thing over to the side, like there's like a flap kind of. It's like a tennis skirt.
There it is. I was gonna Google tennis
Oh,
skirt.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
see if you can bring that up.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
Dude.
I think
You're like, this
Sam
whole
has
thing's
that.
a fucking farce. Sam, come on.
Yeah, it's
This
a
whole
farce.
thing's a farce. Come on. I thought I was going to see some panties around here. Or maybe not panties. Maybe even something better.
Oh,
That was on was it Old School when they're at couples therapy and he's
yeah.
just like, I think about my wife, and then the waitress comes and it's like, I wonder what color her panties are. It's like, or maybe she's wearing something that I don't even know about, something new.
Yeah.
And then like they all like, or his wife is looking at him like, what the fuck is your problem? He's like, I thought this was like a safe place. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, his wife is looking at him like he's such a pig. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe she's wearing a thong or a G-string or maybe something
Yeah.
new that I've never seen before. His eyes are all lighting up. You're like, dude, you're divulging way too much.
oh,
I
dog.
can't find any fucking pictures though.
You know what? This is another curious thing. Since we're all talking about like style on this one, when did you start to get more adventurous with the colors of the stuff you wear? Because if I remember right, your colors were usually always pretty like basic, like
Yeah.
pretty simple. And now, like, you're wearing yellow shit every now and then, red shit, purple shit. Like,
Yeah.
when did you start to do that?
Probably maybe like 5 years ago or so.
5 years ago?
3 to 5 years ago.
Do you know what changed?
I think, when my body started to change, when I started to lose weight and get in better shape, I was like, well, I can wear stuff that kind of highlights what I got more if I switch things up a bit. And then I was also just thinking like, a lot of other people that are big, they typically wear a lot of black.
Yeah.
And then I noticed like friends and people in the gym and stuff like that, there's just a lot of black and a lot of gray. And I was like, I don't know, let me like throw some colors in there here and there. And then here at Slingshot and at Super Training, like I've worked with a lot of females, working with Mariel Tag on my book Jacked and Tan, and having Jessica Smith run my social media for so long, in kind of getting around them, and my sister-in-law, my wife, having these women influences around. When I'd wear something that had some color to it, they were like, oh, that looks really nice.
Yep.
Like, oh, that brings out your eyes, or that looks, that matches. And like you feel like you figured something out. You're like, I matched something. You're like, this is fucking dope. Normally I'm fucking way off, And so yeah, it helped. And then I was like, let me try to get. The hard part is once you start to introduce colors, then you end up with a complicated like color scheme, and now you can't Andrew Zaragoza it and stay with the black and grays. You can't kind of Steve Jobs it. Steve Jobs has wear the same thing. I think Dr. Dre wears the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of that's great, I think, to pick a color scheme and then try to stick with it because it can make everything less complicated. But I think that if you think about what you like from your partner, it's how fucking cool is it when they wear something, they just wear something totally different. And you're like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like still every time my wife dressed up this past weekend, I always like seeing her in like a dress or a skirt just because I don't know. I'm chauvinistic, disgusting pig, I guess. But she was wearing like a pantsuit kind of thing, and she just looked amazing. And I'm like, this is my girl. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. And it was a different color, like she doesn't normally wear. I think it was like kind of a pinkish type of thing. She doesn't normally wear that, so this is cool. It's exciting.
PowerProject family, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying the episode. And this episode is brought to you by Merrick Health, the premium telehealth clinic from Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Now, if you've been wanting to get your blood work done or if you wanted to get your blood work analyzed by a physician, Merrick has your back on that. And Andrew, can you tell them how to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys know exactly what labs you want to get, you guys can load them all up into your cart and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off all labs. But if you're like me and you're not sure exactly where to start, you guys can get the PowerProject panel. You guys can head over to merrickhealth.com/PowerProject and you guys will see a whole panel of like over 26 different labs, everything from head to toe that you're going to need to know what's going on under the hood. And again, to get in on that, head over to merrickhealth.com/PowerProject and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save $101 off of that entire panel. Links to them and all the information down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
This whole style thing is funny because it's like style was something that I was like, okay, right now, I don't give a fuck about style. I care about trying to get it as best shape as possible, working on my mind, working on all this stuff. Style comes last. And style did come last. It's like after everything else, style did come last, but it does make a difference. Like it made a difference when I was dating, and even it makes a difference now. Like the way my girl appreciates it. She likes it. Like she notices all the colors and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, nice. It does make a difference. So what I'm saying here is because when you watch a lot of like this single guys content or whatever, I'm like how to attract women or whatever, a lot of these guys go on the style thing hardcore. But if so many other things are missing, but you got fashion, it's like, all right, that's cool. You got a lot of other shit to work on. But I think it's also kind of funny that the fashion side of things came after you got into the shape that like, or at least the confidence to have for the fashion came after you got into the shape you wanted to be in. Because that's kind of like what happened with me too. Like I cared about fashion when I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. Let's start really, let's start dressing things up. We're adding some fucking color.
Yeah, because normally it's like the opposite, right? Like some of my friends that were the most into fashion were the most out of shape because they were trying to make up for it. So that is interesting. You guys went about it like kind of the opposite direction.
When you're in good shape and you try stuff on at a store, I mean, first of all, you need to look for new clothes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. So I lost so much weight that I had to look for new clothes many times. And, Lululemon and some of these places, they got their dressing room down to where the lighting is fucking perfect. Yeah. You look fucking epic in there. You're in there for hours. You're like posing and like fucking doing push-ups, getting a pump.
We have some pictures for next week in terms of posting.
Doing a goddamn photo shoot in there. But when you look good or you look better than you used to, every time you put something on, you're like, oh, wow, that looks pretty good. Like, oh, I think I can pull this off. When I was heavier and I would try something on because I had to go to something or whatever, I'd put something on. I'm like, this does not look good. And I'd put on the next thing. I was like, this does not look good. I'd sit there and complain, like, why don't they make stuff for guys that weigh 330 pounds? How come they don't make stuff that fits someone with my stocky frame over here?
And how come it doesn't look good on me? It looks good on everybody else. But
like, there's got to be a belt, that's 46. Come on, like we need like this giant. We need a belt that can wrap around this table, right?
You mean to tell me there's not one slimming 4X shirt out there?
Right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, come on, man. Like, make it hit the features that I have that are good, which was like, I don't know what they would have been, but
yeah.
when you get in shape, even if you just get in better shape.
Yes.
I'm not talking about like you getting, looking like somebody else or looking like a supermodel or anything like that. if you lose some body fat and you go in and you try out some clothes, it's also kind of a cool thing to, I've done this before where I buy sizes where I'm like, I want to stay in that size.
Yeah, same.
I want to stay there. And I know that girls probably share this probably more. But I've done this as well where I'm like, I kind of want to stay in this frame. I bought, I think it was like last year I started buying like 34. With my workout shorts, they're usually a little bit bigger because I don't like them to be like too tight. Mm-hmm. But with some other types of shorts, I buy a lot of 34s, and I'm like, I gotta stay in those. I gotta keep things, right, so that I can fit into those all the time. So when you just get in a little bit better shape than what you were previously, when you shop, you're going to want to buy a lot more stuff, and you're going to be a lot happier with a lot of the options that are out there. You're going to be like, fuck, man, this looks great. Maybe you try it on, 2 weeks later and realize that it was a really bad mistake, but that kind of happens to everybody.
Overreached a little bit. There was a time period for a couple of years where just every shirt I wore just came from Super Training. So like my whole wardrobe was just like some new ST shirt, a slingshot shirt.
Yeah.
And I went through the closet this past weekend because I'm just like, same thing like Mark said, like I fucking don't have any room for anything. When you hit that stage where you're like, babe, do you have a hanger? It's like, no, I was gonna ask you for hangers because like we're out. I'm like, that's it, I'm throwing a bunch of shit away. And it was hard because like some of these shirts were like the first ones I ever got when I started working at Super Training, so I was just like, I was like, I can't. Well, I'm like, I've been saying I can't for like, I don't know, the past like 3 years at this point now. So what I did was like I offered some to my daughter Jasmine because she likes wearing them for oversized shirts or for pajamas or whatever. So thankfully she kept some of the OG ones, which is pretty cool because like if I ever want to go back and take them back, I can. But we try to like kind of get a little fancy here in the office, and we're just like, hey guys, like no more like slingshot shirts. Like we got to wear like a button up, like a V-neck. Like let's not look like we're all just literally still in the gym every freaking day. Like why not? Because if we have somebody come in, like we have to like be presentable, put it that way.
I got you.
So there was a weird time period where everybody was like trying to figure it out. Just like fuck, like this is weird. I hate like button up like collared shirts because like I used to have to wear those. And like I never wanted to wear them again, but like here I am, like I guess I'm gonna throw it on, and that's where the whole black and gray came in for me because I'm just like, god damn it, like I don't like, and so finally I was just like, I'm just gonna save time because we started working out at 4 a.m. So I'm like, fuck this, I'm wearing 2 colors and that's it. These days, like especially with Viore shorts, there's some really cool colors that I can make work with black or gray and anything. So like I'll do that. I'll do some blues every now and again because same thing. My wife was like, "You look great in blue." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna wear blue." And so that's where the black and grays came in. It was just trying to speed things up to look a little bit better here in the office.
Which style of shirt you wearing today? Is that a Viore?
I don't know what this is. No, it's not. I think this is a wow, fancy that. It's an old 5'4" club shirt. So yeah, it's just a blue fitted shirt. Feels good.
But what like it is interesting to me though, like when you're getting into better shape. I remember when I was heavier again, I just definitely wouldn't wear certain things because I'm like, that's too loud. But number one, it's because I didn't want to be noticed in that way. I was like, let me just wear this. But number two is just I didn't have the confidence to wear that color. You know what I mean? I just did not have the confidence to wear that color. And nowadays, like I get a bunch of different fucking colors, not because I want to be noticed, but because I'm like, that looks good. I could rock that. There's a different level of confidence when you get into the shape that you'd like to be in. Where you're like, I can wear whatever I want to wear. And that's motivation to get into better shape, And it's not wanting people to notice you. It's just you feel good enough with yourself that you can put on some fucking purple or pink and be perfectly okay with it,
Yeah. And then this, again, going through all my clothes and stuff, like I have a bunch of old ST tank tops where at one point I was just like a little bit too embarrassed to wear them because they were like very loose fitting. Well, now it's the opposite. It's they're a little bit too tight, and I'm just like, I was like, man, it looks like I'm trying a little bit too hard now. It's like, oh hey, I got pecs now. Look at these. It's like, fuck, there they are. So then I had a large Viore tank top, and same thing. Like I'm in that stage where I'm like, I was like, is it too loose now? I was like, because like I can't go back that other way because that's way too tight. So like, we're gonna go this route and just make this normal right now. Yeah. So that's where I, so I have to say goodbye to all my mediums, my extra tight mediums.
I shot a video like a kind of a while back of just trying on a bunch of different stuff. And a lot of it, I think I just put it like mostly in my story. Some of it I might have put on my Instagram, but I was just trying out like different colors, and I was just telling people, just encouraging people to kind of go for it. Like, I don't know, mess around with it a little bit. Like get a purple, polo or pink something, or something that's yellow, or just something different than even try to see if you can wear white. Sometimes you'll be shocked. You put something on and it looks a little bit better than maybe you originally anticipated. And again, your partner, your significant other, whoever you're dating or whatever your situation is, those people are usually like, hey, like that actually looks really good.
Yeah.
And then you'll kind of be encouraged to do it more often. But I don't mind taking some risk. I just like to get stuff that's comfortable though too. I don't want stuff that's like too uncomfortable, or sometimes something fitted is like a little too snug. And I have a couple shirts now to wear like maybe like not too, like my body changes all the time. Like it literally changes a lot. And I got a couple things where I'm sometimes like, it's just too tight. Like some of my Lulu stuff especially will creep up on the arms a lot. So I'll be sitting there and like, it's like snug to and I don't need it to be, I don't want it to be that tight.
Yeah.
But then if I size up, sometimes it doesn't really look right either. So
want some room to sweat.
Yeah.
Like that's
some
the
room,
thing, man.
some room to let it all go.
Yeah, man. It's weird, huh? Like I don't think many people think that we think about it this much, especially women. Where I'm like,
here's a big area for a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes, they're real self-conscious about their kind of love handles.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of shorts are kind of tight in that area, especially if you have some fluff in that area, they'll feel even tighter. And then a lot of guys, when you see them like, you just kind of notice that there's sort of like a love handle there because the shirt's too tight on that spot. And it's like the ideal thing is like, can we get a little bit, just to hug the shoulders, just a pinch, and then can we get a little more room, on the lower half for a lot of guys? Because I know that's what people like sometimes about the shirts that we have here that say power, or the strong shirts and stuff. People like those fit the arms and shoulders perfect, and then they gives me a little bit of room to fuck with my diet a little bit.
Some room to fuck with my diet. I like that.
Dude, but everybody that we give those shirts to, whatever. If you guys know of any people on like Instagram, like who have big followings, but like you see them still wearing them, and they always say like, dude, it just makes my arms look so jacked. I'm just like, yeah, that's why I fucking still wear them too. But I have to get the large now because the medium's like, when I sit down like to do a set or whatever at the gym, I'm just like it's just like overlapping on itself, even though it's like everybody looks weird in that position, but because the shirt is so tight that like, it emphasizes it. Yeah. I'm not a fan.
I don't really know because I haven't experimented in this spot because it coincided with me having a little bit more money. Maybe you guys would know, like Travis Matthews seems to be pretty cool. They make kind of more golfy style stuff. There's a lot of like old school companies that have been around for a while, like Hurley. Hurley's owned by Nike. They make a lot of nice stuff. Even Nike's always fashionable. Yeah. And Nike sells way more than just sportswear. And they also have the Jordan brand where they're like, I bought some really nice hoodies and stuff like that from there. Lululemon, obviously Viori's amazing and they're a sponsor and supporter of ours. But some of these brands, they do have a little bit of a price. And I do think that it's important that you do put your dollars towards these things, but there also might be some alternatives. I mean, even going to like somewhere like Target or something like that, my daughter still loves to go to Target. And when I go there with her, like I still see like stuff that's nice that's there, that's fashionable, I'm like, oh, they're like up on the trends and stuff. Whereas years ago, like you wouldn't have been able to do that.
No, you get clowned on. But yeah, so one thing that like I remember we used to do is whatever the brand is, you would search for dupes. So like Lulu dupes. And everyone on Amazon would be like, oh my God, this is the exact same. Everything comes from the same factory as Lulu. Wow. And so like we would try it and be like, damn, those are actually pretty nice. But then I can't remember what it was for. My wife went to an event with Cass Martin and she got her some actual Lululemons.
Yeah.
And it was just like, Oh, okay. There is a difference, right? Like, between that and like something Viore. Like when you get the Viore, you're just like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
But you can do that, and they will have some like really cool stuff.
One thing that I did notice though, and like when I was younger, I wouldn't have been able to. I got some Lululemon stuff, and then I heard about Viore later on, like recently, so I was able to get some of their stuff too. But when I was younger, I'd get stuff from H&M, I'd get stuff from Target, H&M fast fashion, right? I'd get like cheaper things, and it's because honestly I couldn't afford
it's
stuff.
expensive,
but
$100 sometimes for like a nice polo or something, or $80. That's a lot of money.
But what would happen within a few months of me owning this article of clothing? Either it'd fucking shrink, or either something would happen.
The collar would get like all wrinkly.
The collar would get a wrinkly, and then I'd have to buy another one, and then you just get used to repurchasing some of the things because they don't last. Well, I have Viore stuff that I've had for a fucking while, and it's as crisp as when I had it in the beginning. I have Lulu stuff that I've had for 4 or 5 years, and that's why, like, after I experienced that, I'm like, okay, I ain't buying other shit. Why? Because like this stuff will last me forever. Like I don't have to. I have so many things that I've owned for a long time just because it's better quality. So then when you think about it, like there's the initial sticker shock.
Do it right the first time. You don't have to buy it 3 times.
Yeah. That's why I don't like having to repurchase things. I don't repurchase things anymore.
You're wasting time. Time is money, and you may have done it multiple times over. Something that I've noticed with Viore and Lululemon stuff is like, you guys have seen me before. I'll work out in like a polo. Most people are like, I'm not going to work out in my nicer clothes. But the reason why I don't care is because it has no impact. It doesn't hurt the clothes. Now, if I sweat like a maniac in the clothes, it's summertime, I'm definitely going to pop the shirt off and not get it like that wet with sweat, because sometimes those stains are hard to get out of there. And so I don't want the shirt to get like disgusting or get messed up. But on the other side of it, not only are they super durable and you can work out in them, but they also a lot of these things they don't wrinkle and stuff. They don't get as messed up. They last longer. They're way more durable. Another company that's really great is Mizzen and Main.
And that's never had their stuff. That's a company that you told us about them.
I can't get rid of that shirt. It definitely doesn't fit me, and I still look at it and I'm like, I can't get rid of it.
The Mizzen and Main stuff, that's another jump. Like they have button ups that are so nice, and you can get stuff to wrinkle if you really want to, but like they don't wrinkle. They last a long time. They have really nice polos. They have nice like button up shirts, and you pay for the quality sometimes on some of these things. And so while it may seem like I don't know if I can really do it, I want to encourage you to kind of go for it. Maybe use our code at Viore, to help with that purchase.
Yeah, it absolutely helps, and you guys can check that out. I just didn't mean to actually do a quick little ad break, but it's Viore.com. That's VUORI. Is it clothing, right? I think it's VioreClothing.com, because I know sometimes the redirect doesn't work. So just VioreClothing.com, and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject for 20% off of your first order. But I mean, they have everything. They got the Hoochie Daddy shorts.
Oh yeah.
They got the running shorts. They have clothes for chicks. My wife loves her Viore leggings. I love them too.
You know what? That's one thing I hate though. My girl, she will take my Viore shorts, like the not the ones that you wear outside. It's like ones that it's not workout shorts. They have like this soft fabric, and she wears them. And it's like, no, these are for me to relax at home.
Yeah.
Not for you. They're super fucking comfortable.
Yeah, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What about, so let's go down a little bit even further. How you guys doing on shoes these days?
The shoe thing is funny, man. Because we have our boy Ray who hooked us up with a bunch of Jordans, and as much as I dig those, I don't wear those often. Like I'm either wearing Crocs because they're wide-toed, but before that I'm wearing like Vivos, I'm wearing Vibrams because I like if my feet are doing work all the time. So the bad thing about my Crocs is, although they have a wide toe box and they're comfortable, if I'm walking around too long in them, they have too much of a cushion. They have too much of a cushion.
Yeah, they're not great for a walk.
My feet aren't doing shit, right? So Vivos and Vibrams or barefoot. I actually purchased some Earth Runners. We're not sponsored by Earth Runners, but they're a really good looking barefoot type sandal that I'm really curious to try. because I care too much about foot health.
Right.
You know, how about you? Because you got hella shoes.
Yeah, I got lots of shoes. So it kind of depends on like what we're going to do. You know, if we're going to do something and it's local and I pretty much get to like drive there and not walk real far, then I might try to like match up my Jordans to like something else I'm wearing. When we went to see Tom Segura, I had a pair of that our boy Ray set us up with, a pair of orange Jordans that I wore with a San Francisco Giants hat. You know, I normally don't even wear like a fitted cap or whatever, but it's just those things flowed together pretty nice. So I did that. But most of the time, I'm trying to be conscious of what can I do? What can I do to kind of promote what it is my goals are, you know? And how do I, even with my workouts, it's like hard for me to pick a workout at this point because I do love to do certain things. Like I still love to bench press. I still love to do like heavy rowing and things like that. So I don't want to take away all the stuff that I like, all the stuff that I enjoy. But at the same time, I want to insert a lot of stuff that can help. You and I were talking about like internal rotation of the hip. So how do I, blend those two things together? And I think some of that is true with my fashion as well, where I'm like, I still enjoy some of these things. I still have a lot of nice shoes that I can mess around with, put them on here and there. But at this point, it kind of reminds me of a bad movie. It's like a step backwards. I feel like I'm wasting my time. Like, you guys ever get into a bad movie and you're like, I could be fucking journaling. I could be learning something. I could be listening to a podcast. I could be
anything. Yeah.
I could be watching a documentary and like learning something, But right now I'm just, I'm fucking wasting time. I'm taking steps backwards. So sometimes, even as silly as it sounds, when I put on, shoes that are more fashion forward than they are like fitness forward, then I'm like, man, I'm fucking up. I'm taking steps backwards.
Yeah. This weekend I got rid of all my other shoes. So I have,
Amen.
Jump, man.
Yeah. So I have 2 Jordans that I got from @FaithsKicks on Instagram. So if you guys are into these rare shoes, these hard to find shoes, make sure you guys head to that Instagram account. But, my plan was to keep 2 pairs of Jordans and 1 pair of SB Dunks that I've had for like a long time, but they're sick as fuck. And I gave the rest to my dad. And one of the first pairs that he pulls out was the SB Dunks. And I'm like, shit. Like, I didn't mean to give those ones away.
Take them back.
No, I wasn't, because he was pumped. He was
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I know, that would have been fucked up. But no, so he got everything. So all I have left is I have so a couple pairs of Vivo barefoot shoes, and then I actually did buy some Zero sandals because I couldn't find anything else.
They have sandals?
Yeah, because I was just searching for like barefoot sandals, and that's one of the first ones that came up, and I was trying to get them from Vivo, but I couldn't find any, and plus everything's always sold out right now.
We we really sold their shit up.
Yeah, but what they're just basically like it's damn near like just a cloth. It's like a sheet of like a very thin piece of rubber, and it has the around the back. So like I call them like a Jesus sandals. They're super, super thin. I tried to wear those in bodega.
Wait, show them on the screen.
I'll pull them up right now. Yeah. I tried to wear those in bodega to walk down to the beach. I could not keep inside ankle bone high. Like, I was having such a hard time keeping my feet straight. Yeah, it was tough, man. But even when I just search Earth Runners, it's like the first one that comes up. Oh, look at that. They're on Amazon. But I got these right here.
Oh.
Super duper minimalist.
Zero.
Yeah.
Damn. Those are actually a good price.
I got something that looks a little similar. I got the Grounded. It's this guy actually, I think, hand makes these things. The Grounded Athlete, but unfortunately mine don't fit very well. It like wedgies my toe a little too much.
Oh, they don't fit well.
Yeah, I think I just need a bigger size.
What size did you get?
I don't know, because he sent them to me, but yeah, it's these guys. This guy has a lot of information. He thinks that like being grounded is correlated to like your metabolism and stuff like that. It's got some interesting. He cites some studies and stuff, but like we know, studies are whatever. But
I was checking out some of that stuff about being grounded for my back pain, because I read something saying that like if you're grounded, you can't. Inflammation has a very hard time, kind of arising, or whatever you want to say. Like,
I mean, look, we could sit here and kind of make an argument that maybe over the years with a combination of some other things, but shoes, maybe every time we walk around in shoes, if there's no consequence to what happens in those shoes, maybe we're not walking as naturally as we should be. Mm-hmm. And walking, not just walking, but training.
Yeah.
Like how many years of lifting did we all do in shoes that probably had excessive amounts of padding that weren't allowing our feet to do certain things? The Squat University guy, when he was on the show, and he talked about your first go of it when you go outside with like, quote unquote barefoot shoes, you go on outside with Vioris or something like that. What did he say? You're trouncing around like an animal or something like that is what he said. You're flailing around like an animal. That just shouldn't be the case, because our feet shouldn't be so desensitized that we like forgot how to walk. Mm-hmm. But what Graham Tuttle has taught me is that if you can't do it as if you're barefoot, then maybe what you're doing is kind of unnatural. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It doesn't mean that you should never do it. Because there are advancements. Like we talked the other day about socks. Like socks are a weird advancement, but like for some reason, in order to protect the feet properly, we need to have socks on.
Mm-hmm. And we wear toe socks now.
We wear toes. Yeah.
We've gone off the deep end.
We've gone off the deep end. We cannot be reeled back in. We are gay and we're doing stuff with our feet.
Mark, and if you say that, they'll believe it. You saw what happened in the last episode. They'll believe it.
Damn it.
But remember, we are whatever you guys want us to be.
Because
at least I'm whatever you want me to be, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you say. Okay, so what was I about to mention, yo? Yeah, by the way, it's for the toe socks. If you guys are interested, I don't think we've talked about it, but Mark, you wear
I got some of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Injinji. So you wear the Injinji toe socks. The Injinji ones were a little bit expensive for me, so I got V-Well. These are both on Amazon. And we don't have a code. But again, the reason why we're wearing toe socks is because, when you're wearing normal socks, it's almost kind of similar to a shoe. And what happens is like, your toes aren't moving around. But with toe socks, because the fabric can retain your toes, like you'll notice you're moving your toes around a little bit more because of that feedback, that feedback of what's going on in between. So it's better, I think it's better for your feet to be wearing toe socks, as weird as it looks.
I didn't have
A little
particular
bit more in the middle.
Oh.
This way. There you go.
waving to everybody. I didn't have particular problems with my feet. I did notice that once we started to mess around with the feet, though, that I had a hard time moving certain toes. And I was like, that in of itself seemed like an issue. And I'm 45. So like, what would that look like at 65? I'd probably have less motion with my feet. So I was like, well, let me take care of these things. And I'm also open to the fact that maybe because our feet, it's a contact point, maybe it does affect my hips. Learning some stuff from Kelly Starrett over the years, keeping the feet straight and trying to walk particular ways. It's like, well, if I'm going to be open to the fact that if I can change my gait and change the way I walk via the way that I point my feet, well, I should be open to the fact that because my feet are the main contact point, that it could be impacting the rest of my body. So I just wanted to point out that I didn't particularly have anything wrong with my feet. And for some of you that are listening who think that we're crazy and think that it's way off kilter, it could be. Like, it could be that we don't know what we're talking about in this sense as it pertains to you, because there's a lot of people that don't have any problems with their feet.
Yeah.
And what I'm starting to notice in this like foot space that we're diving into, it seems to be a very, very massive problem for a large percentage of the population, but it's not everybody. Like, some people's feet they're okay. Can they work on their feet to be stronger, and maybe it could help impact some other things and be positive in their life? Maybe. But I'm seeing this as a major problem for men. I'm not saying that women don't have this problem at all, but I'm seeing it as a major problem more for men. A lot of women that I see and women that I know, they naturally have a nice arch in their foot a lot of times. Not everybody. I'm not saying everybody. Maybe there are some females that grew up playing a lot of sports and they did a lot of soccer and they stuffed their foot into a cleat, and maybe because of that they have symptoms nowadays where their knee is bothering them. If something is bothering you, I would say 100% start to look into and examine the footwear that you're wearing. I think it could have a really big impact. But I also want to share with people that it's not everybody. here's what I discovered. I was thinking about this the other day. I was trying to be really thoughtful about this because we're trying to share information that we feel is like in the best interest of everybody listening, right?
Yeah.
As I thought about it a little bit more, I'm like, okay, there's male shoes and there's female shoes, like most companies, right? You go to buy a Nike, there's a size for men, there's a size for women. And here's what I believe to be true, even though I didn't even look it up, but I'm just imagining that this is true. Let's see if you can follow me. A woman's shoe, I think, is exponentially wider than a male shoe in accordance to its size. So a woman's shoe, a size 8, in an equal comparison to a male shoe, let's just say a woman's shoe is normally a size, let's just for argument's sake say a woman's shoe is normally a size 8.
Yeah.
And let's for argument's sake say that a male shoe is normally a size 11. I don't know. I'm probably off on my numbers, but I'm guessing that in proportion of the length of the size 8 female shoe, that it's wider percentage-wise than the male shoe that is the size 11. That's just a proposed thing that I've been thinking about. So what I'm trying to say basically is that most men, if they were to step on something that was shaped like their shoe, but it had no top to it, their foot would squish outward over the sides of whatever the thing it is that they stepped on. Let's say they stepped on something that's similar to the soles that are in the shoe, that rubbery thing, right? Mm-hmm. You put that down on the ground. I think most men are going to fail that test, and their foot is going to expand out beyond that. I think with women, I don't think that their feet do the same thing because women are proportionately or typically smaller than men.
Yeah, well, just really quick, sorry, Nsima.
You good, bro?
I just Googled it. Are women's shoes wider than men's? It's just for fun. The first thing that comes up, compared to the corresponding men's shoe, women's shoes are built wider in the forefoot and toe area and narrower in the heel. And then it says reflecting the gender differences in foot shape. So your hypothesis, at least.
So here's what I think here's what I think is like a cure for this. If men's shoes, if all the fucking molds that they make out there right now were just 20% wider, we would have half the issues that we have with feet. People still might need to explore how much padding and shit they get underneath their shoes, but the main problem is that your feet can't fucking move. Your toes can't move. They're jammed in.
Yeah.
So cleats and everything, wider.
For
all
sure,
of them.
cleats. I mean, that's
Absolutely,
what got your foot,
cleats,
right,
bro.
Nsima? That's got that you had to get shit shaved off.
Yeah. Yeah, cleats are fucked. Hopefully somebody can fix that at some point. But Mark, it makes me think, problems, right? If we didn't end up going down the rabbit hole of like Vivo or whatever, I would have assumed everything's cool with my feet. I wouldn't have really thought much about my feet because it was going down the Rata Vivo, learning more about foot health, doing more things with the feet, seeing how much dysfunction and lack of control was going on with my feet. Because like I did BJJ, like I'm barefoot on the mats. I never thought about my feet as being anything or any part of an issue. And as I've worked on it, the reason why I guess I yap so much about it is because it has made such a big difference for me. And I've already been doing this shit for a minute. Like I've been doing jujitsu for 7 years. I've been lifting. I've been on top of the fitness thing. But the strengthening of my feet has made already such a big difference for me athletically, and it hasn't even been that long. That's why I'm like, I didn't even realize I had a problem. I thought everything was pretty much cool, and I'm just out here working on certain weaknesses. But the foot was such an easy fix, partially because, you don't have to get shoes. You could just start going barefoot in certain places. Shoes just make it easier. But seeing how much of a change has happened with it in terms of going through the growing pains of my feet getting bigger, the tendons getting stronger, all of that, then I think like, wow, if this made a big difference for me, what about the person who they weren't even thinking about this in their fucking stratosphere? Like
It's
this is the last
maybe in the realm for you. Maybe it's in the realm of practicing more nasal breathing. Maybe it's the same realm of like mouth tape. Maybe it's the same idea of even something like protein leveraging. Maybe something as simple as some intermittent fasting. These are all things that you introduced into your life that you're like, and now cold plunging. These are all things that you introduced into your life where you're like, they're easy enough. Easy enough for me to do. Maybe you didn't have an idea before that exposure to cold was going to do anything. Maybe you didn't know, or maybe you didn't make like the mouth tape thing seems like a real stretch, right?
Yeah.
You're like, come on, bro, tape my mouth. Like, do you want me to die? Like, that's usually what people
That's
say.
what people say.
I got allergies.
Yeah, my nose, I can't breathe out of it. So I agree with you, and I think that it's great that we have, you know, hopefully the people that listen to this show, hopefully they continue to give us more recommendations, because we've had kind of one thing lead to another on the show many times, and in bringing on the GOTA guys, and then starting to talk more about functional patterns, and starting to kind of open up that whole can of worms on the movement pattern. I think there's like another wave coming in fitness that is a little different than what we've seen in previous years. I think there's a pretty strong wave when I was getting like way into it deep, when T-Nation was a big thing. And then it seemed like there was kind of like another wave with CrossFit. And now it seems like there's a wave, and there was a little wave with powerlifting, a mini wave. Yeah, a little mini wave came in there, and people rode that wave for a couple of years, and powerlifting was pretty popular. But now you're kind of seeing that fall out of favor a little bit. And what's replacing it is people just like moving better in the gym.
Yeah.
And this is another great thing, is like maybe people didn't think, like maybe there's a bunch of people that can squat with full capacity. They have good range of motion. But maybe because they haven't explored it before, they didn't realize that when they get into like an ATG split squat, that they have hardly any strength, or they don't have any balance, or they have more pain than they thought. And they didn't really realize, fuck, man, if I just train my shin, I train my tibs, I can maybe get some relief for my knee. So I think there's a lot of cool things going on where it's really good that we're poking around and that we're finding things. And I think on this show, it's really great that we're not afraid to dive into stuff that might be a little different, a little bit off.
Yeah. And it usually happens, we call it like the podcast universe, where like shit it'll kind of circle a couple times, and like you see it once and then it comes back again, and it keeps coming back. You're like, fuck, I can't ignore it at this point. So we already had started wearing Vivo barefoot shoes, and then the GOTA guys came in. And then I seen how like that whole community, they almost do everything barefoot. So then I was like, oh, okay. And then I started seeing a lot more Vivo shoes on that whole community.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm already on the right path. You know, and then here I am. I don't even know how many months now, but like that's the only type of shoes I'm going to wear. I'll mess with Vibrams, but
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vibrams, I like them.
Yeah. It's just, I was thinking about it today, actually. I was like, I wonder if I wear these in like a commercial gym, like what would that be like?
Yeah.
You know, who
you're
knows?
you're now that guy in that gym. Like people look at you like, oh, what? Oh, he's one of those hippies? Okay.
He doesn't do just bicep curls?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You know, though, like we are kind of, as far as the movement space or whatever, you know, we're behind, like we're kind of behind to be like, we've started finding out about this, but I was watching some videos from Ido Portal at one of his seminars years ago, and I was seeing these cats like just doing their movements in Vivos and stuff.
Wow.
Right. So like the people that have been like focusing on good body movement and fluidity and mobility, they've been on this shit. You know, as the lifting community, we're kind of catching up. And, you know, but it's cool. Again, I think that there's things like, for example, the feet, the breathing. These are pretty simple changes, right? Just going barefoot in certain places or just wearing more minimal shoes. These are simple changes that in the long run can make big changes for an individual's body. It's like, you know, you read Atomic Habits. You think of what are the keystone habits that allows people to have all these benefits. I'm starting to think that the feet are one of those things, because if your feet can get stronger and you can move better with your feet, levels of dysfunction around your knees and your back and upstream could get better.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
For a lot of us, we have back pain, so we attack the back. We have knee pain, so we attack the knee. And that's a good thing to do. But if we attack the way that we step and put force into the ground, and that area of our body changes, how can we not expect upstream to also change and adjust in tandem and potentially help everything? You know, that's how kind of sleep, I think about sleep too. If you can attack your sleep and the way you're breathing in your sleep, think about how much easier your diet's going to be, your recovery, your performance in the gym. Everything else follows suit.
A lot of times we hurt our back because something else is like off, something else is tight. So when your hips are really tight, and or your ankles, when you go to do a squat, you have to give up a lot of position in order to get down lower. And then like, what does that look like when you do it with 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds? Maybe you get a pass for a while, you know, maybe your body adapts to it and your body's like, oh, we can do this. But look at our boy, Ray Williams. You know, he has had some injuries lately and he's working his way through those, but he's got to put in a lot of work to get that body headed in the right direction again. And thank God the other day, I think I saw him squat like 800. It was fucking easy.
Let's go.
I love Big Ray. Fucking amazing guy. You know, so now he's back on the right track again, but he had to kind of go back and sort of fix some of these things. So when we're looking at like the feet, it's like, man, the feet are our trackers. And if those things are off, so many other things are going to be, look at this fucking guy. What did Ray, he had registered like the highest amount of muscle they ever recorded in history when they did like body fat examination, right?
Yeah. He has the most lean body mass.
Dude, look at the size. He's the size of the rack.
And he looks kind of normal since he's on video, but Ray in person, my God.
He's so happy too.
Yeah.
He's got a big old smile.
Yeah, we did a whole video on Ray Williams and that muscle thing.
I think he was about to dance right there and he cut it out. I was like, I want to see that dance.
Show me the dance. Oh, what's he doing here?
Yeah, see, he's gotta go back and kind of correct some stuff. So what is that exercise called? I forget what that is, but he's kind of clamping down with the kind of inside of the hip.
The Copenhagen squat.
Yeah.
And Copenhagen something.
Yeah. And look at he's
Copenhagen's.
He's doing those pretty damn good. And he's a big boy.
Strong adductors, yo. Sheesh.
Dude.
But yeah, you know, we'll talk about this probably in another podcast, but kind of leaning into some pain a little bit to fix certain things.
Oh yeah.
I think we got to hit that later. But, you know, my wrists have kind of been an issue for me in terms of getting into handstands and stuff. And as I've been looking at Ido Portal's stuff, and I went through this wrist warm-up thing that he had, you know, I was starting to stretch out all these muscles in my forearms that typically don't get any love. Like I do a lot of things to strengthen them, but I don't do anything to stretch them. And if we think about the concept of like, okay, stretch, lengthen, strengthen, right? Or not stretch, like smash, lengthen, strengthen, you know? So we did that stuff with the knees, getting strong through length. Like my wrists, same thing. It's like stretch that area, lengthen that area with different movements, and then strengthen that area with different movements. Like there won't be a limiting factor anymore. But initially, yesterday, that shit was painful. Putting all my weight on top of my wrist while I was on the ground. Like gymnasts do that shit easily, but that's a capacity that I did not have. And it's going to take me a while to build. But once I do, a lot of things are going to unlock for handstands, handstand walks, all the body weight stuff I'm trying to be able to do.
Think about how many things that you guys go over in jiu-jitsu and then how many things you don't go over in jiu-jitsu that people can just do because it's jiu-jitsu, right? Greg Glassman brought this up to me. He said that when you go to gymnastics, there's nobody who's like, all right, we're going to teach you how to do the splits. He's like, somebody recognizes that they're not good at the splits and they just work on it every day. They're just off in the corner and they're working on it and they're working on it and they're working on it and they're working on it. And eventually, you know, they can now they can like do something that everyone else can now do. Yeah. But for that particular person, for whatever reason, they had to spend a lot more time on it. And it's kind of an unfortunate truth of anything where you're trying to get ahead, anything where you're trying to be able to get like a nice deep breath of air in what you're trying to do, whether it's getting ahead in business or in life in general. Sometimes that's the case for a particular individual where they might have to work and put a lot more time into a particular area. Sometimes people are born with tremendous like brilliance. They're just very, very smart. A piano makes sense to them. Sometimes there's people that they're 6'8" and they have tremendous athleticism. And again, that person still has to put the work forward. There's still a lot to do, but maybe they just started off a little further. Yeah. You can't really look at that and get too disappointed. You got to just say, a certain amount of work for me to do. And I have to be honest with myself. Am I actually doing it? And if you're actually doing it, then you should be reaping the rewards. And if you're not reaping the rewards, you're probably not doing enough of it. It's probably that simple. Want to take us on out of here, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything else, Nsima?
Nah, bro,
No,
that's
we're
good.
Yeah, that's a show. Thank you, everybody, for checking out today's episode. Please drop us some comments below. Let us know if you're still wearing the N1 shorts, or let us know when you burn those fuckers. And yeah, we would like to hear from you guys. So subscribe if you guys are not subscribed, and make sure you guys hit that like button. We sincerely appreciate it. Please follow the podcast at MB PowerProject on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. And Nsima, where can people find you?
Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, and Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. The Discord's about to be at 1400.
Jesus.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so join the Discord. Link's also in the description. Mark?
I slept for like 10 hours last night.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have to do a show. I think I have solved this fucking riddle once and for all.
Let's go.
Being able to sleep.
Oh, blue balls.
I know.
Excited.
I know. I'm at Mark Smelly Bell. Strength is never weakness. Weakness never strength. Catch you guys later.